Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant. Streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com. Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of the detective drama Jack Taylor, starring Game of Thrones Ian Glenn. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV. Evil mastermind Gru has returned.
That's right, baby! Gru's back in the game!
As a loving family man.
Never get older.
But the Anti-Villain League asks for his help to stop a dangerous criminal.
You know how a villain thinks. That's why we brought you here.
With the help of his minions, they set out to capture a madman.
With cool cars, gadgets,
how are they working?
And weapons!
In Despicable Me 2.
Hi, I'm Salim.
Hi, I'm Jami.
And I'm Brenna, and we're here to talk about the much-anticipated sequel to the 2010 smash, Despicable Me, Despicable Me 2. We've all just seen it, so who wants to start us off?
The film was written by Ken Daurio and Cinco, who wrote the first Despicable Me, as well as Horton Hears a Who and The Lorax. The film's plot steals a little bit from some classic Alfred Hitchcock movies like To Catch a Thief and North by Northwest. I was not a big fan of the first movie, but I like this one a lot more. Maybe the characters have grown on me in the time since the first movie came out. I definitely was a little bit more open to it this time and enjoyed it more than I did the first time.
Interesting.
You know, I really loved Despicable Me, the first film. And this one, I enjoyed it for the first half, but the writing just fell apart in the second half.
No, I completely agree with you. I love the first movie as well. We had this guy who wanted to steal the moon, but we had many scenes as the movie progressed of why he wanted to steal the moon. And so we had an arc for this character. Whereas in this film, the arc is a little bit more muddy. There's a lot of questions. There's this villain that we don't really get to see until midway through the movie. Whereas in the first one, we knew the villain from the very beginning. And I thought that was very necessary because your movie's only as good as the villain.
And for me, the first film was really a ripoff of Toy Story meets The Incredibles. The Minions were just the little alien characters from the toy. You know, from the claw thing. Yeah. And so I thought that was kind of a ripoff. And then The Incredibles, rather than retired superheroes, retired evil supervillains. So maybe I wasn't expecting as much from this one, and that's why I was a little bit more pleasantly surprised.
But what I like about the first one is that it's a story about a guy learning to love, basically becoming a father. He just happens to be a supervillain trying to steal the moon.
well, this one is about a guy falling in love.
Exactly.
So maybe that's the next step.
But you
the
know,
progression
this
they took with
one,
it.
he hates her, she helps him dispose of a body, and then they love each other. There's no development. It's just instant. The first one had development.
It's just not as tight as the first film. These girls really wanting Gru to find love. And I love that part of it because it goes back into this relationship that he has with these girls that I think is the most important part from the first film. So I was glad to see that explored a little bit more in this one. However, they forced in the Minions a lot, and as a result, the story seemed like it was going in many different directions and it didn't have a straight through line from the very beginning. Of course, we have Steve Carell as Gru. I love him and his quasi-Russian accent.
No. I am a father now, a legitimate businessman. For example, I am developing a line of delicious jams and jellies and preserves.
It's an original voice. A lot of big celebrity actors that do animation roles, they're just doing their own voice. At least Steve Carell takes a big swing at something and does an original voice, so I enjoy that.
That's actually what, and I think another reason why I enjoyed Despicable Me 1 and this one, for what I did enjoy for this one, is that we're not falling into this stunt celebrity voice casting, where there's no point in casting them. I felt like I was watching like a 90s animated film where they actually hired voice actors.
Right, and Russell Brand's the same.
Exactly.
You can't tell that's Russell Brand.
I could not, I actually, after watching the first one, I went through the credits, I was like, oh, where's Russell Brand? Oh, Dr. Nefario. I rewound, and you could hear it once you know.
Right.
But it's you're looking for it, exactly.
Yeah.
And then we have Elsie Fisher, who plays Agnes, my favorite of the three girls. I'm sure everybody's favorite. I could watch a whole movie of just her just saying cute things.
Yay! This is the best party ever! When's the fairy princess coming?
Any minute now.
Yay!
Yeah, and Kristen Wiig, who played the lady who ran the orphanage in the first film, I thought it was interesting that they brought her back and cast her as the love interest, a completely different character.
There's a lot of character behind her voice, and it's really nice to see an unconventionally attractive, awesome kick-butt woman as a love interest. You don't really see that very often.
Right.
But they kind of ruined it by damsel in distressing her.
They do at the
They do.
end, yeah.
Yeah. This was directed by the team Pierre, Coffin, and Chris Renaud, and they did the first one. And they know what they're doing.
They're definitely at home in this family franchise that they've created. Absolutely.
It's
Bright, it's beautiful, it's very colorful and vibrant, and the 3D is actually pretty effective.
The 3D is really good, and actually I would recommend anyone who sees the movie stay for the end credits, because I thought those are really impressive 3D effects that they do, and it's with the Minions, which I think we all agree are probably the best thing about the franchise. Some really cool, eye-popping 3D effects. I like 3D when it comes out at you, when it's not just giving you depth of field of the characters.
Yeah, the fun about these kind of animated movies is that they can do that. They can do the gimmick of 3D, and it fits in with the type of film that it is.
Kids are gonna go crazy for this movie, and I think parents will somewhat enjoy it themselves, so I'm gonna give it a qualified see it.
So the adult fans like me might want to wait to see it at home, but if you've got kids crying into their Minion dolls, definitely see it.
This is not destination viewing for animated features like Toy Story 3 or the first Despicable Me. However, kids are gonna love this movie. Definite see it.
To the Minions.
It's so fluffy, I'm gonna die.
Support for Just Seen It comes from Acorn, distributors of the detective drama Jack Taylor, starring Game of Thrones Ian Glenn. More information is available at acornonline.com/PTV. Support for Just Seen It comes from Warner Archive Instant, streaming hard-to-find movies and TV shows direct from the studio at WarnerArchiveInstant.com.